Hello, Patriots. How are you doing? How was your weekend? I hope you've had a good one. It has been absolutely dinging it down. I know I kept saying this last week, but the rain's literally not stopped. There's been so much flooding up here, and the car went into the garage over the weekend. So today I had to go shopping the old-fashioned way, going to get my messages like our grandmas used to. Just had to take a wee stoat to the shop, did I? But before I start, I need to say one of my last videos I said that one in four veterans were homeless, and it's actually that one in four homeless are veterans is a statistic that I should have used. Oh, I put out a list that Aberdeen Against Illegal Migration had put together, and it was of like literally just the most recent of the crimes that are being publicised in and around Aberdeen, whether that's the initial crime or the sentencing. Sentencing. That's bloody hard to say, isn't it? But yeah. So this is from migrant Migrant Watch, and this is a list of the first 3 weeks in January, and it just shows just how dangerous our streets are, especially for the most vulnerable among us. I'm just getting this loaded up, and then I'll show you. But yeah, it's quite the list. Right, so here we go. So the post from Migration Watch reads: "The true scale of migrant crime. Mass migration to Britain has seen serious crimes like rape, assault, and theft surge. In just the first 3 weeks of this year, 20 migrants have pleaded guilty to or being convicted of a serious crime. Full list below." So, January 3rd, Afghan migrant Abid Sherzard. Yeah, so I'm probably going to absolutely butcher most of these names throughout this list, and I could not care less. So, Afghan migrant Abid Sherzard, who arrived in Britain via small boat and was living in taxpayer-funded hotel accommodation, is found guilty of sexual assault after attacking a sleeping woman in London. January 5th, Afghan migrant Sohail Amiri, who arrived in Britain via small boat and was living in taxpayer-funded hotel accommodation, pleads guilty to sexually assaulting two women and attempting to assault a third in Southampton. January 7th, Kurdish migrant Osman Bahidini is jailed for 8 years, 8 months for crimes including rape, burglary, theft, dangerous driving, and driving without insurance. January 7th, 5 Albanian migrants, Endrit Nicoli, George Lesage, Christian Dengerigi, what the heck? Christian Gropkaj, and Sidorjan Leshy pleaded guilty to a spate of 44 burglaries across the UK. January 9th, Indian migrant Ashish Jose Paul is jailed for 14 months after repeatedly breaching bail to stalk a former colleague at London Zoo. Oh, hopefully the poor animals were safe, man. January 9th again, Sudanese migrant Ahmed Mohammed, who claimed asylum in Britain in 2012, has racked up 29 convictions and is convicted again of threatening a person with an offensive weapon in a public place after brandishing a knife at a Christian preacher. This is January 9th again. Algerian migrant Brahim Kadur Sherry, a convicted sex offender who was accidentally released from prison in October 2025, pleads guilty in court to carrying a knife and burglary. January 9th again. Yemeni asylum seeker Makbil Al Dariri pleads guilty to sexually assaulting a hospital worker and urinating in front of members of public. January 12th, Kurdish migrant Mehmet Ogur, who arrived in Britain via small boat and was living in taxpayer-funded hotel accommodation, is jailed for 7 years after raping an 18-year-old woman in a park in Tamworth. January 13th, Albanian migrant Romeo Zani is jailed for 2 years after illegally entering Britain for a 5th time. Mr. Zani has previous convictions for money laundering and dealing drugs. January 14th, Algerian migrant Manur Gilaz is jailed for 18 months for a lengthy crime spree in London, stealing laptops and passports. Now, why do we think he's stealing passports? To give to his pals. Right, January 14th, 2 Romanian migrants, Ion Zahiri and Samir Balistanu, are jailed for 4 years, 3 months, and 3 years, and 6 months respectively for a spate of, that's jailed for 4 years and 3 months and 3 years and 6 months respectively for a spate of burglaries in Cheshire, which they began just hours after arriving in Britain. Just hours after arriving in Britain. Just hours. January 14th again. Indian migrant Sovam Singh David Muva is jailed for 9 years after being found guilty of 4 counts of sexual assault. January 15th, Albanian migrant Sadiq Marku is jailed for 18 months after being caught operating a cannabis farm. And the final one, January 20th, Albanian migrant Loredon Kastarati is jailed for 10 years after crashing his car into a police vehicle and attacking a police officer with a chainsaw. Yeah, so that last one was the one in Scotland. And I remember when that happened. I think it's about in Paisley. And all the lefties were like, oh, look, it's a white native chasing the police with a chainsaw. Obviously not a native, is he? It's what we're trying to say to people. You want to try and simplify our argument and take away from the importance of our people by trying to put it all down to just skin color. Because at the end of the day, fair enough, all the European races fall on, all the European ethnicities fall under the white race. But when remigration happens, we don't want to be overrun with a load of white foreigners either. This is our homeland, you know? And yeah, it's just when you see lists like that, it just solidifies everything that we're doing. When you see these people like myself, the Halls from Aberdeen Against Illegal Migration, the Scottish Freedom Patriots, the Patriots in Dundee, the Patriots in Ayrshire, all over Scotland, you know? When you see us outside these hotels, it's because we're not doing it just because of the colour of their skin. We're doing this for the safety of our own people. We're doing this because there's millions and billions being wasted on these people that could be going to our people, the most vulnerable amongst us. All these increases in taxes that are going towards funding these people, their lifestyle. Like the Present Journal, we have 5 hotels minimum in Aberdeen. And actually, I'm going to put up a post here. James Melbourne, one of the top boys from Aberdeen, he's part of our little media crew that's like coming together, really. He goes and does like the audit inside of it, going to these hotels. And he's actually just put up a post about all the hotels and HMOs that he's been able to find round about Aberdeen. He is a top level patriot and he has massive cojones. So honestly, if you're on Facebook, then go have a look at his page, because yeah, the team that I'm getting to be alongside in Aberdeen, like I always go back to a couple of years ago when I first started speaking out politically and nobody was really interested in it up here. Do you know, everyone was sort of in their own little bubble. But now, because we've been battered so hard with it, the people that are waking up, and it's all working class people, it's all your average Aberdonian, your average Scot, we just want the best for our people. We want our communities, our families, and our homeland to thrive and be safe. So when we see lists like this, yeah, it hits us deep, but it doesn't surprise us because we've been trying to make people aware that this is going to be happening and this will continue to happen on an ever increasing scale, even when they go into these when they all go into military bases. That does not get rid of the danger. As I've said before, that's them condensing their numbers and managing to get organized, which is why we should get organized, why we need to stop being individuals. We all need to unite the clans because it's the only way that the Scottish people are going to survive. Too many of us are caught up in the England Scotland argument that goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. But since 1707, we've been joined with the English and we've been stronger since it. The average English person, the working class of England, face the exact same struggles that we face. And on top of that, we've also got Holyrood who want to stick an extra level of tax on the Scots. Do you know, we pay more in tax than the English do. That's not Westminster that's doing that to us. But the point I was wanting to make, sorry, and I'm completely diverted, is that the Present Journal did an investigation, and Present Journal's Aberdeen's libtard paper. Do you know, well, all papers are libtard, but Present Journal's our main paper up here. And they did an investigation, and Aberdeenshire Council has so far pocketed up to the point of them doing this investigation, had pocketed 1.6 million from assisting in the housing of these asylum seekers. Do you know? So that's 12. They're getting 1,200 per person. Yet in Aberdeenshire in a whole, look at the state of our roads. Look at the amount of people who cannot get the help and support that they need from the services that are meant to be there for our people. Even those who work for themselves, small businesses, your labourers, folk that work in the building industry, the bar industry, it's all been absolutely battered by tax because of this whole socialist way our living's going. And then you've got bars that don't want to let nationalists in as well. And what people like, nationalists are the ones who want to save the bar industry, want to save all these industries. But when you've got the small man getting taxed into oblivion, and even though Labour's doing all these U-turns, look at all the farmers that have still taken their own lives because of the stress they were under, thinking that they were about to be taxed into oblivion. Like, you want to say that a farmer's rich because he's worth, say, a few million, but you take away all his equipment, all his land, and that's where all that equity is tied up in. All his equity is tied up in the machinery that allows him to be able to provide food for our people, and food which gives us nourishment, which allows us to keep warm. Do you know that only about, I think it's from 40 to 60% of our food that we eat and is stored in our shops is actually bred, reared, grown in Britain. Do you know? So if we was to go to war tomorrow, what would we do? We would be straight back on to World War rations. Do you know? We'd be totally isolated, and like, we in Aberdeen, we've got 23% of our children live in poverty, right? We'd be viable or 2.0, do you know, with the poverty levels, people to having to take wheelbarrows for food because we wouldn't be able to supply our own people. And on that, say we went to war tomorrow and the British Isles gets destroyed, all these people that we're saying about remigration, they've got a home to go to. But if we went to war, British Isles got destroyed, we have nowhere else to go to. The Scottish, the English, the Welsh got nowhere to go to. The Irish still have nowhere to go to because the British Isles and Ireland will be no more. But these people, they've got another homeland to go to. That's where we have to fight. But then that big list I've shown you of migration watch. This is the video from the Daily Mail. I'm not going to say any more yet. Just watch this.
How old are you? 20, 29, 50, 60. How old are you?
90.
90.
90.
No.
So yeah, that's the two asylum seekers that the Homeland Party were down for Nuneaton says no. It's just what our people are being put through. It hits me every time. And then you've got the other day, Rhiannon Skye Whyte, her perpetrator, the beast that stabbed her over 20 times, and she worked in these hotels. Do you know, she had a pure soul, and she wanted the best for these people. She wanted to actually welcome these people in and give them a good life. And then that guy, I'm not even going to say his name, but yeah, he stabbed her. He then tried to commit fraud against the system by saying like he was a child and all this sort of rubbish. It's just bananas. But this is her sister, her family speaking about it.
Can I just ask you?
My sister worked in a migrant hotel.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people do, and she was stabbed 23 times to the fucking head because she was getting straight home and killed her.
So she was stabbed 23 times in the head by this beast.
Straight home and killed her.
Fucking hell, man.
And he's fucking dead.
And these lot here.
Send all of these, and he came in the country 11 weeks prior on a dinghy. 11 weeks. 11 weeks. And he stalked her.
So he'd been in the country 11 weeks and he stalked her.
11 weeks. And he stalked her for hours.
23 stab wounds.
3 stab wounds to her breast and her arm in self-defence, and the right one that killed her went straight to the core of her brain. And these bastards are standing there defending her. What about Kate that speak?
Hello.
What about Paul Lily?
Hello.
What about Paul Lily that speak?
Show your face. Don't hide behind your side. Show your face. Tell me why this is okay. My sister was murdered.
Her sister was murdered. It could happen to any of you lot.
See, I just think that's disgusting. You've got all these. This is why it's not left versus right anymore. This is good versus evil. That poor girl, that poor family are trying to plead with this lot that her sister was murdered by these people that they're defending, and they could not care less because of virtue signaling. Why do you think the working class are so against this, while it's all these spoiled little kids that have never grown up knowing any troubles in their life, never been punched in the face, that are always supporting these third world dangers? It just blows my mind. The working class, we understand what it's like to have to struggle every so often. We understand this, that not everything is given to you. And these people just think that we're just doing this for the fun of it, when really we want our people to be given the exact same rights that these people are given. This is our homeland. That's like that. There's a guy commented on my latest appearance on, there might have been a woman, I don't know. There's someone commented on my latest appearance on Voice of the Valleys, put up here. And they want to strawman the whole thing by being like, oh, Lucy Letby, oh, Jimmy Savile. Firstly, I don't think Lucy Letby is, I think this is going to age like milk, because Lucy Letby is looking more and more like she's innocent, you know? But Jimmy Savile, we know he's the Prince of Darkness, you know? None of us defend him. It's the elites that's been defending him. Our people have always been trying to out it. We know that there's evil among us, do you know? But we want to be able to deal with that without having to deal with the third world foreign dangers that are coming here at the exact same time. But yeah, he's saying about me wanting us to have total priority and greater rights over everyone else that's here. surely that is just the natural order of things, that the native population should take priority over anybody else. It's our homeland. All the services, everything here was built by our people. Our people built Britain. Our people built the NHS. We do not need foreigners for these institutions to survive. The foreigners that come in are needed to work are only needed to provide the service for the other foreigners that are here. We get rid of the foreign burden. We do not need the foreign workers. And Active Patriot, another top level patriot, like it's in his name, Active Patriot, but he has been on the front lines with Steve Laws during COVID, proving that there was illegal migration going on at Dover. And he carries on. The police are always trying to get him with something, but he's out every single day trying to help the homeless, trying to raise money to provide food and shelter for the homeless. He is doing the Lord's work. He is amazing. But yeah, he put this post up the other day. Another terror attack stopped. 2 men arrested yesterday in Tottenham on terrorism charges. More to follow. I'll show you the video. So like I was saying, it's been a few days now, and it's not been all over the mainstream media that there's been a foiled terrorist attack. Do you know? This is, if we keep bringing in the third world, we're going to have to keep facing these dangers. Like remigration. Let's talk about that for a little bit, right, before I finish off. Remigration. One of the biggest misconceptions about remigration is that it all happens like that. Do you know? It all happens in one go, because there are millions and millions of people going to have to go back. Do you know? But it doesn't all happen in one stage. It's done in stages. Like, first of all, you're going to get rid of all the illegals. You're going to cancel all asylum claims. You're going to keep them all in offshore detention centres. But you're going to get rid of all the foreign criminals. You're also going to cut all benefits for foreigners. You're also going to stop stuff like halal, kosher. You're not going to allow them to have places of worship. Do you know, you're going to get rid of all this. And once you start getting rid of all this, people are going to start self-deporting anyway. And you'll find that millions of people are going to leave just from that. Then when it's based on, then when you start going through like those that can't speak English, those that live in foreign communities, all gone first, even if they've got legal status and been born here. Do you know, it doesn't all happen in one go. There's going to be those that have made massive contributions to our people, have done a real service to our people, and they're not going to be on the list to go. But if you're a detriment to our society, why would we not use every power at our ability to make our streets safer for our people? It's not about being horrible to anyone else or thinking that we're superior to anyone else. Because at the end of the day, when you go on your holidays, you don't go to these places and start demanding that they live like us. No, you go so that you can experience their cultures. That's what it's supposed to be. But you know, so we don't see ourselves as superior to them. But when it comes to our home nation, when it comes to our homeland, yes, we must reign supreme. Do you know, it's our homeland. It has been passed down to us through generations and generations of our people that have fought for this land, that have farmed this land, that have sailed these seas. Do you know, it's our ancestors that have done that. That is what gives us the right to this. Being born here does not give you the right to our homeland. This has been passed down to us. Our people have sacrificed so much for this land. Do you know, go back to the start of this episode, I'm talking about England and Scotland. See this flag? The Saltire. That was waved on the way into the Crusades. Do you know, people wanted to wave this flag to go and fight for their people. Do you know? And they fought alongside the English. They fought alongside Europeans, shoulder to shoulder, do you know, and they were happy to wave his flag. This is what we have to come together, not just the Scottish, not just the British people, but the European peoples. Look at South Africa. What's happening in South Africa is what's going to happen, or what's happened in South Africa, from them being a powerful minority to them being overthrown and now getting picked off, is what's going to happen in New Zealand. It's what's going to happen in Australia. It's what is going to start happening here as well. What's already happening here. We must come together for the security of our people. That's all we're trying to do. We just want Scotland to thrive. The SNP do not want Scotland to thrive. Do you know, there's more coming out about their lies about this hotel. Like John Swinney was aware of the dangers years before he's saying that he knew. The SNP, and they want an independent Scotland that's still part of the European Union. Look at the state of places like France and Germany getting absolutely overrun. In France, you're not even allowed to say that the native population of France is white. They're a European people. It's just crazy. So remigration isn't this. Like a couple of years ago, it was totally taboo to mention remigration. And now, because of nationalists, because of us fighting for our people and refusing to bow down to these labels, refusing to be scared by them, we're still going, and now remigration's mainstream. So have faith in our people, have faith in our movement. And see, if you are fearful, if you walk the streets, like say you're a woman or you're someone that just doesn't feel like you can handle yourself or anything like that, and you know that you've got journeys to make, that get in contact with people. Don't go through life in fear. There will always be people like myself who are willing to stand by you through anything. I'd rather we die trying together than fail alone. Do you know? Because that's it. We can only win if we all come together. The Scottish people uniting the clans. That is not against the English. That is uniting the clans of Scotland so that we can stand with the English people. We can stand with the Welsh people as we fight to ensure the right for our people to self-determination in our ancestral homeland. We can do this, people. We can do this because we have the spirit of Scotland inside us. Scotland is ours. Britain is ours. Europe is ours. So be brave. Be courageous. We can do this for remigration. Oh, I was waiting to finish there, but before I do, I'm going to leave you with this, because tomorrow I've had time to go more through the Epstein files. But who remembers this?
Is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
Ryan Patel with his chosen people partner. Do you know what I'm saying? He says that there was no evidence. Oh, Patel. Oh, Patel. What a little liar. But we must unite the clans. We must stand shoulder to shoulder with our people. We could do this, Patriots. Have an amazing week. Thank you.